Everyone, I'm Crafty Kara, and it has been a very, very long time since I've posted anything here on Flosstube. So how are you guys doing? And I'm sorry I've been gone so long. I have missed you guys terribly, actually. There was days that I really needed Flosstube, and I just couldn't sit down to watch it. But a lot of life stuff has happened since March and August, so I wanted to maybe fill you in just a little bit. I made a video for February, never did anything with it, so I'm kind of going to go over that real quick, and then we'll get on to what has happened since then. So in February, yeah, here we are in September, and I'm talking about February. I was on a kick to finish a bunch of stuff because it was FFO February in some group. Forgive me, I don't remember which group. But I finished 6, or FFO'd 6 projects. I finished 4, and I worked on 11 whips. So it was a really good month for February. So one of the ones I finished that I didn't get to show you guys was a finish that had been a finish for about 2 years. Yeah, I had to think about it. For the Just Cross Stitch It's Fun group, it was part of one of the sales. And I finished this. Goodness. Trying not to get too much glare. It's really tiny. I believe it's on 22 count. I think I got it from Cyber Stitches. And I put it in this little tiny frame. So I'm really glad just to have it in a frame for good now. I also finished, or FFO'd, Teaching is a Work of Heart. It was one of the pieces I was doing for a teaching gift this year, and I will put a picture of that. I mean, I've already done it before. Just personalized it with the teacher's name on the book. And I think I used the recommended whiskey because I used another color in the past, and I really didn't like it. The whiskey I had for something else anyways recently, and so I put that in, and used, I think, a Diki dyes for the apple, which just added to the charm of it. And then I finished Readers Are Leaders in February, and I'll put a picture of that in. That was for my daughter's teacher. That was from dailycrossstitch.com. And if it's not .com, it might be .net, but I think it's .com. They're the ones that used to have $1 patterns. Now I think they're $2.99, but that was perfect. I was so happy to have that. I think I had bought it a while back anyways. Just changed the color of the letters and added the teacher's name to the book. And then I FFO'd Music, which was one that I did out of, there's a pattern book that came in one of the World of Cross Stitch, and finally FFO'd that. I had FFO'd it, but I spray painted the frame, needed to sand the frame and repaint it, but that finally all got done, and here's a picture of that. I love this one. I love this. I finally found a frame at a discount at a local store that was the right proportion that I needed, and I did it. Then I FFO'd. I finished. Stop and think. Here it is. I finished Little House Needleworks, which was a new designer for me, because I like theirs, just not always having something to do with them. Like, I don't have that kind of stuff in my decor, but this was about a rabbit. How can you deny? Peter, how cute. And I bought the the called for threads. And here he is. And this is just fun to stitch because I think that it did require such few colors. There's only a couple DMCs and 4 variegated floss. I think they were 2 crescent colors and some weeks. 3 crescent colors and 1 weeks. But it was fun to stitch, and part of the pumpkin I ended up stitching during the blackout we had in February. Luckily, it was a warm night here in Indiana. And just a little bit of haul with that. I finally went to Joann's recently because I wanted to frame this, but I don't think I'm going to find a frame that I want. And I found these 2 fat quarter fabrics that I think will complement it. Not sure what I'm going to do, but whether it's going to be like a cushion or if I'm going to make like a quilted wall hanging kind of thing. Or I was just thinking maybe like a coaster, even though I don't really use coasters. But yeah, that was a finish from February. Just like to FFO that soon. Another FFO for February was grandparents from Dimensions. Looked like this. And I took out all the, I want to call them virtues. You can see some of them there in the blue lettering. I took those out and changed them to grandchildren's names. And I really like how that turned out. I gave it to my parents for their wedding anniversary, which was in February, and I'll put a picture of that in. Once I finally made the decision to put the names in instead and charted them a little bit, make sure they fit, best decision I made. I loved it. And then the last FFO for February, which was also my new start. See if I can find it because I have it in. Sorry. Came out of the cross stitch of February 2017, which I wanted for a couple different reasons. But it was this pattern here. I had a friend who had a baby 9 weeks early due to complications with preeclampsia, and the baby's doing fine, just a tiny little thing at first. But she had a baby shower after she was born, and I made this. I put it in a frame, which I'll show you in a second. But what's neat is you put the baby's name, the month and year they're born, and then you put a little heart over the day of the calendar that they were born. So it's kind of like a mini birth record. And I really, really, really like that idea. So I stitched this up and gave it to her for her baby shower. And I'll put a picture of that in here. I love this. It's so sweet. And it was done pretty quickly. So I just used some scrapbook paper and made a quick sort of matte frame for it. But I still think it turned out really nice. And I would love to do more of those if anybody else has babies. That's good old Pinocchio. And yes, he is still in a hoop, so no hating, please. I did finish this section of, and I think it was in February or end of January. No, it must have been February, which I think I only had a little bit left. So now I'm into the center section, and you can see not a lot is done. There was other things that distracted me from Pinocchio, but I think, honestly, I just got burnt out. Let's get into what happened since February, because I don't want to make this a huge, huge long story, but I want to touch in on, life happens. Not a whole lot you can do, but you just have to go with the flow of things. So I had already joined a group called 40 Bags for 40 Days. It's on Facebook. It's about decluttering, getting rid of things that you don't need, things you can donate, things that are just junk, trash, whatever. And to just finally purge it and get rid of it. And I needed that. I really needed that. Our garage is like an episode of Hoarders. Seriously, an episode. And once I found that group, I took it as an opportunity to do it for Lent. just thought it'd be a nice cleansing process, no pun intended, to go through the garage and get rid as much as I possibly can. And what has always held me back is the time and the weather. However, this time I try not to make that excuse. However, we had unseasonably warm weather for February and parts of March. So I took whatever time I had, which was maybe an hour and a half a day while Emily was at preschool and the baby would take a nap. I would go out there and I'd clean. And I would fill the trash cans, fill the recycling bin. I would load bags up and take them to Goodwill because that was the easiest way for me just to get them off my hands and not go, oh, I'll wait till I can give it to so-and-so. I just got rid of it, give it to Goodwill. So I was doing a lot of that during, toward the very, very, very end of February and all through March. And I'm still doing it. I'll have spurts, especially on trash day. I will do what I can to fill up the trash cans and get them out of here. I finally got a new phone. Nothing special. It's just like a Samsung phone, but my other one had like no space on it, or every time you deleted it out, it wouldn't give you the space back. So I was really struggling with my phone, and to have a new phone that just had better space, better processor, and I mean, I felt like a human being. No, not exactly. I felt like a normal person living in 2017. I had a phone that I could have apps on, and I think I have like 80 some apps now. But yeah, but it still runs just fine. So that was a distraction because I was playing some games on some of these. Then we then we had spring break, and so I was going through the kids' rooms cleaning, and then we went to Dayton, Ohio, just a couple hours away. Went to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Museum. A lot of fun. We hadn't been there. Me and my husband hadn't been there in 14 years, and now we go back 14 years later with 4 kids. So it was kind of surreal. But if you're ever in the area and you have the opportunity, it's free. You should go. It's a great piece of American history through aircraft and things like that. So I can't wait to take them again. We'll probably wait a couple years, but yeah, it was fun. And then we move on to April, which I was still decluttering all the way up until Easter when I realized I hadn't shopped for Easter or did any preparing for Easter like dinner. And we did that all on Thursday before. I'm usually shopping ahead of time, and then mid-April, my husband, I love this part. My husband finally was able to reconnect with one of his 14-year-old daughters, and it's something we have waited and prayed a long time for. He has always wanted to be a part of their life. About when they were 9 months old, things changed, and he didn't get the opportunity that he should have. But, you know, she wanted to do this. She wanted to meet. She wanted to, meet her half siblings, and we were excited and thrilled, and a little nervous because it's one of those moments you're not sure it's really going to happen. And once it did, a whole world changed, and the kids enjoyed meeting their half sister, and we have continued to meet. We thought it might just be a one-time thing, but now we have been doing more and more things, which we'll go into. But my husband, I don't know how to describe this, but there's just a way somebody carries himself. And I would say, I guess it's a chip on his shoulder. He's always had like a chip on his shoulder. After we got back in touch with her, it was like this man could float away. He was so happy. I mean, he walked differently. He carried himself differently. He smiled more. I mean, how could you not? She is one of a twin, so there is another one. She's just taking things a lot more slowly. I think she's not ready for the change, or at least, they're 14. There's already things, that change a 14-year-old's world. So we're just taking it one step at a time and enjoying every moment, every second that we can get. So after we met, we have been invited to softball games because they play softball. And we started doing that in May. Yeah. So softball is all that we did in May, because they were playing about 2 to 3 times a week. And of course, May around here in Indiana is like, for me, it's like end of year field trips and programs and award ceremonies. And with Elliot's birthday in the beginning of June, I'm also, preparing in my head what I need to do for that. And so there's no way, first of all, I can participate in Mania. There's just no way. But then we were so busy with that as well. And then comes June and the kids get out of school. My son has his birthday and 4 kids at home again. Just, gets crazy. Excuse me. More softball games, of course. For my son's birthday, bought him tickets to see a baseball. I can't talk. A baseball game in Indianapolis. We have a minor league team named the Indianapolis Indians. And it was so much fun. So much fun. Again, I'm not a huge baseball person. I enjoy watching it now a little bit because of the older girls, playing softball. And he was getting more into it. And it was just something for me and him because my husband had to work. And so I took the kids to my mom's and we went, and it was so much fun. One thing, lesson learned from a baseball game is never try to catch a foul ball without a mitt. I tried somehow. A foul ball, we were like right behind third base, real close to the home dugout, and a foul ball, which was looking like it was going way behind the stands. We were only 2 rows out. And the ball just kept coming closer and closer, and I just happened to put my hand up, and it hit me like right here, and it hurt a lot. But nothing was broken or anything. Just, I think as the ball went through, it overextended my fingers. But I remember trying to drive. I couldn't. I was like, oh, no, not a good idea. But like I said, never try to catch a foul ball without a mitt. And then we've made some trips to other local-ish venues, I guess. Prairie is a interactive historical park in Fishers, Indiana. It's not too far from us. I hadn't been there in like 25 years, and we had the opportunity to go. I took the kids, and it was so amazing. I think this year alone, I have been very interested in history. I think that changes as you get older. You're like more in tune with wanting to know what happened in the past, especially from where you might have grown up around. So we went there, and there's an old house from William Connor, and then you walk around it and you get to see the prairie, which is why it's called Connor Prairie. And it's just stunning. Stunning. Even my daughter was like, Mom, look. And I was like, yeah, wow. I was like, okay, sit down. I made all 4 of them sit down where I was seeing the back of their heads and just looking onto the prairie. And I was snapping some pictures because I wanted something like that for the last several months since Ethan was born. And I snapped a couple really good ones, and I'll show those to you. Yeah, I shared that on their Instagram, I think it was, just because I liked it so much and I was really proud of it that I thought others might want to see it. So I shared it and unknowingly entered myself into a contest and won. I won the the photo Friday, I think that was what it's called, and got got 2 tickets to come back. I was excited. I never did that as an intention to win. I was just wanting to share, not paying attention that I was entering a contest, but that was pretty neat. And then we've also visited the Children's Museum of Indianapolis again, but they had a new exhibit, dance, and the pulp culture exhibit, and kids loved it. They danced and round, and um, yeah, why not? Why not? And it got their energy out for the day. And then, of course, we visited, a state park near us. Sorry, I keep hearing sounds outside. I want to make sure it's not somebody coming up to the door. And then through the month of June and July, we were also doing some learning of the 50 states, um, just kind of adding to a children's education to give them something to remember from summer, even though they didn't like it after a while. They had days they were excited, and other days they're like, I don't want to do it. But you know what? They remember. They remember. So we've only covered 35, but I think we'll finish the others during fall break because the summer just got busier. We visited the Indiana State Museum down in downtown Indianapolis. Again, I was interested in history, and there were some really neat things there. Um, there was some memorabilia from films that were shot in Indiana, like Hoosiers and A League of Their Own, which is one of my favorite movies, even though I'm not a baseball fan. It's a fun movie. And there was also another exhibit that had things that were important to Indiana's history. I also saw a chatelaine, a real chatelaine, the tools, because I think I saw one other person who talked about a real chatelaine that women would clip on their belt when they just had dresses and stuff, and had like the thimble and scissors and a couple other things and all. I think I have a picture of that as well. I mean, how neat is that to find some sewing and stitching related items in a museum? And then, our July was also filled with VBS, with church, and my son had football camp for a week, which was just a day camp. And Emily attended kindergarten camp, which we were hoping to get her into kindergarten. But since we were trying to do it earlier than scheduled, her standard was higher and she wasn't quite there yet. But we're back in preschool and we're doing fabulous. So, and then we visited Prairie again when Daddy was able to go and had some more fun. And shopping. We did some shopping, and then Colts had a training practice in Lucas Oil Stadium instead of at a training camp somewhere, and we had the opportunity to go because tickets were free, and we all dressed up like we were going to a game, which a lot of other families did, and it was a lot of fun. Um, Got to see some players, even though Luck was injured and he was just walking around, wasn't practicing, but we got to see Vinatieri kick, and maybe the oldest player in the league, but that man still has a leg, and he was showing off, kicking it into the stands. So yeah, that was summer. And then, since August, Emily's had a birthday. Kids are back in school. Their half sister is now on a travel softball league, so we've gone to Columbus, Indiana. Um, we also went to New Albany / Louisville because you're right there. And my oldest started cheer, and we had the solar eclipse. And I know everybody had talked about that recently, but that was a lot of fun. I know I've been saying that, but it was a great educational experience. I did take my children out of school for the day, as their school had decided, or the school corporation decided to keep everybody indoors for the day. I couldn't do it. I had to take them out because I remember experiencing a partial solar eclipse as well in the 4th grade, and we went outside. We didn't have the glasses or anything, but we still went outside and we still enjoyed it, and I wanted them to experience it that way. Um, and poor Emily got in an accident with her brother. They bumped heads and she knocked a tooth clear out. So luckily it was a baby tooth, but we won't see that tooth for another 1.5 years probably. So I didn't start stitching again till August. And I mean, I'm glad. I needed it after that kind of summer. I needed to stitch. And I even told the kids that you guys are back on school. Mommy needs to stitch. So I pulled out my cross stitch October 2014 in the Alexander Adelaide's pumpkin, and I finally finished it. Yay! The difficult thing for me was the orange that was charted was really bright. It was what I call like caution cone orange. It was just too much of a difference between the dark red orange and the others. So I changed it. I think they chart a 970 and I did a 740. And it wasn't that much, but it made a big difference. And I would like to frame it, but I think I'm going to do a wall hanging, or like a quilted wall hanging. Got some fabrics. So I'm going to show these to you. And I really like these. Got these at Joann's. They had a sale, of course, during Labor Day. So there's a dark orange red, like a diamond pattern. This is like a bark texture orange. And then this green is really neat. I don't know if you can tell, but those little gold, there's a little sparkly gold leaves or buds or something. And I know there's no green in there, but I just really like how these colors look so nice together. So that's my goal for FFOing that, but not today. Then I picked up my 12 Days of Christmas ornaments that I had started for Stitch Mania. Had a sale for each day of the 12 Days of Christmas where you could stitch anything 12 Days of Christmas or anything in relation to that day, where that was, so for a partridge in a pear tree, if it had a bird, if it had fruit, a tree, whatever, anything that you could tie to that. But I did choose to do 12 Days of Christmas, and I got them out of I don't know where the book is. I've showed it in past videos, but is a leisure arts book with mini ornaments. Yeah, after my experience, I will not stitch anything else from this book. I didn't like their color choices. I altered some things back then, but there's Partridge, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, sorry, 4 calling birds, 5 golden rings. Oh, that was the one that really set me off with that because it had charted 413 to backstitch around the rings, which 413 is brown, not golden brown, no, brown. And that was not going to work. And I even charted to use those at their beaks. Sorry. And I didn't use those because that's the 413 right here. Doesn't seem right. So, and those are the others, if you can see. But yeah, happy to have this done. I will probably just donate the book. But I got my use out of it. I stitched 12 ornaments out of that. The goal was to have this done by the end of the year. So just to have that done now in August or for August. Actually, I just finished this on the 4th. So, but they're done. But I did buy this fabric as their backing fabric. I couldn't find any Christmas fabric that I liked that played well with this or the white, so I found this. And I really like that. Not quite sure exactly how they're going to be finished, whether they're going to be flat pillow or what, but I have some ribbon, which is in the other room, that I hopefully can embellish with that. So that's done. And there's one more FFO. Where did it go? There it is. Clouds Factory Power Rangers. I was doing this for my brother-in-law. I wanted to finish it last year. But I finished it this year, guys. Instead of doing them in this line, I stitched 3 on 3. And that's what it looks like. And I know it's all wrinkled, so I apologize. I haven't washed it yet. But I love it. I added its Morphin time to it. I went through my other Clouds Factory and charted out the font that they use so it kind of matches. I did change the belts. Sorry. So they look a little bit more like that. And I also changed the colors for the pink, blue, and yellow Ranger. Or was it the green? The yellow was fine. I changed the color for the green, pink, and blue Ranger. I forget what green they had, but it wasn't the right shade, and I know he would have noticed. Same thing with the pink Ranger. I changed hers and the blue. This is the black Ranger, even though it uses a dark gray, but in order for them, their face shield to show black, you needed a slightly lighter color, but it still looks really good. I'm just probably going to frame this, and it needs to go to Alaska. So I just finished that the other day, and really, really happy. And the only other thing I have, I have finished a couple other things. One, I have an example here. I had this Follow Your Art from Raise the Roof, and you had to buy the little buttons go in there to make the paint. So cute. And I wanted to frame it something like this, but this fabric was not available, and the company that made this no longer had that available either. So I had to get creative. I think my fabric's still down there. But I have a picture of my finished one. Yeah. This took me all year to figure that out. I bought fabric finally, I think, a week before it was due as a gift. And I bought the frame and it came with the mat, and I just decoupaged that fabric right to the mat and looked awesome. I was really, really, really happy with it once it was done. And I stressed all year about that. But I wanted black fabric or black something to make that pop, and it really worked. So, yay! And then, oh, the other one that I don't have the packaging for, it's somewhere else, was the schoolhouse. It was an old kit that I've showed in previous videos. But here's a finished photo of it. Yeah. So this was my 5th and final teaching gift. This was a pain in my rear because of the size that it was and the constant color change and the fact that it only had that much colors. I finally put them in these 2x3 bags and put them on a binder clip so they stay together. But this is a way that I can make it travelable. And yeah, it's just so glad that one's over. I mean, I liked it. It was just a pain. But now let's get into some of this haul. See if I can get through it a lot quicker than I was trying to in the past. From February's haul, got stuck in this crate here. I finally got myself an 11x11 Q-snap. Really, really excited that I can make different sizes now because I have the 6x6, I have 8-inch extenders, and I have another snap I recently bought. I bought some more portfolios like this. Our dollar store finally got more of these in, and I picked up a few more of those. I like those. They're easy. I got this book at Joann's because, you know, if I'm going to sew, I'd rather do some useful sewing. And it's got neat projects like those totes that you want to put in the cubicles, and like a drawstring toy bag, which I really think I should make. But yeah, like that. And then I got a couple things from Amazon that I couldn't resist. I have a couple Donna Cooler books, and this is another one I liked, cross-stitch motifs. Just some neat patterns. I like the people, and I like how the charting is nice and colorful, and that you can easily separate stuff in here if you want to. Like there's cottages and stuff for babies, and just lots of ideas. And you have 555 options. Why not? This is also one of my favorite things I have found. 3D cross stitch. I think I paid a penny plus shipping on this. I thought this would use plastic canvas. It doesn't. It uses 14 count and 28 count. But I want to do one of these. This reminds me of the Victoria sampler things because you build stuff. And I have one marked page. It's a cross stitch village. Oh my goodness. Talk about taking up all my time if I wanted to do something like this. Look. How cute. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a really nice, like, old style church here. Oh my goodness. And you literally stitch, can't show you. Here's an illustration. You stitch the piece like this, and then you attach cardboard, fold it up, and glue it, and then add like the roof and the base if you need to. Oh my gosh, I love it. And there's even like dollhouse type furniture. Toward the back. Is there a page I could show you? Yeah. Little toy chest, couch and ottoman, bassinet, bed, and vanity. Oh, stinking cute. Couldn't pass that up. I got a couple things from Stash Unload. 52 backstitch alphabets. I like these because a lot of these are small and fit them into tight spaces when you're just needing to add a little personalization. So, yeah. And then I picked up 59 Christmas motifs. I just like the way these are like charted. Like even though they're small, like there's still a good amount of detail on those. So yeah. Got those in Stash and Load. Picked up this at Julian's. Sorry. And it came with this little cute earring kit. I want to do that. But I bought this because of the Cogden design. Once I saw it, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I bought it. I'm working on my PhD in cross stitch. Project's half done. Right? Right? And there's just other neat designs in this one. So it was a bonus to get other things in there as well. I'm moving through. Oh, and Hirschner's. I got 5 magazines. And I'm not going to show them, but I mean, like, go into them. But I was really happy to at least get these and use my certificate before these all disappeared. So, got those. And the thread. Also, a quick rack that I got during February from Kate. We were talking in a Facebook group about how the price of certain charts just skyrocket once they go out of print, which is pretty sad. I mean, I understand supply and demand, but there was a chart I wanted that was $200. I'm sorry. I may love it, but I don't love it that much to pay $200 for it. But she was telling me that she had a couple Peter Rabbit patterns that she would be happy to rack me. And I said, oh, that'd be wonderful. So I got Beatrix Potter's alphabet. So this has all kinds of characters in there. Do you see? This is the other one I have. She racked me this. That wasn't $200. It was a birth sampler. And this just has Peter Rabbit characters, letters, but still really cute. So thank you, Kate. Sorry it took so long to finally show those. And then here's a few other things I got during February. Sorry for the rustling. Found some fabric on clearance, whole yard, at a local store. In this bundle of 5 fat quarters, and so I think they'd be really good to make project bags. I can pull my words. I got a zipper, hopefully, to do that with. Got this on clearance at as a remnant from Joann's, and I'd like to make a purse with that. Actually, I think that'd be fun. If not, I can make a project bag out of that. It's a Waverly fabric. It's really, really nice. Found me a discounted rotary cutter. I already used it and love it. Normally $16, $17 and paid $5.77. And these Wonder Clips. Yay! So I don't have to use pins and needles when sewing. I think that'd be great. I say like 60% off on that. And then some buttons. So wonderful. And so cool. So I like to turn those into needle minders. After February, these things are all kind of acquired anytime since February. If I can remember when and where I bought them, I will share that with you. I have a website I visited called Julie's Cross Stitch. She had these magazines. I don't know if she still does, but she had magazines where if you bought like 3, you got them for a deal. So I bought 2 bundles of 3, and she sent me 7 instead of 6, which is great because I wasn't clear on one of them. And she sent me 2 that fit the category. So I ended up getting this one. I think it worked out. These were like $2 to $3 a piece, which was still a really good deal. I'm not into farms or like, but this, maybe it's the way the colors are. So adorable. I remember I like that idea, stitching Is it black work? Well, not exactly. Maybe it looks like 1/2, but that looks like fun. And then she sent me this, which I already have, but it was because I was unclear about something. But thank you for sending an extra one. I asked her if she wanted it back, and she said no. She's like, keep it. I also got this Hobby Lobby for my daughter. I have it as an ebook, but for $2, this would be something that she can really maybe get some good examples from. Since cross-stitch needlework is no longer in publication, I decided that I would put that money that I wanted to put to them to another magazine, and I went to Stony Creek. Why not? So I already have 2 of the magazines this year. So I like that. I mean, I've looked at them and there's things I want to stitch, but again, I love the way they chart. I love the colors that they choose. So I know that I'll enjoy it when I need to stitch. Noise. I went to another L&S. I wouldn't say it was local, but it was in Zionsville, Persnicketies. I've been there a couple times. And I found this Bunnies and Blooms from Blue Ribbon Designs. I got it for 75% off. It's kind of like a checkerboard kind of thing with the alphabet. There, you can see. I thought that was cute. And then there was a mystery grab bag that I bought. And this is an old kit. It's from 2002. It's a Mill Hills. I guess I'm going to have to take it out just a little bit. It's on some, looks like 11 count. Mill Hill Sensational Stitches Friendly Trio. Comes with some 11 count Ada. It looks like a light dusty blue, but it comes with everything you need. It comes with all the buttons and charms, which are a lot. I mean, that alone is probably like $10 to $15, if not more. And some beads, more beads and the thread in there. And then there's some painted Japanese silk, and my guess is this is acrylic ribbon, like 8-inch ribbon, and some other silk ribbon in there. So very different project that I have never come across in the past. But again, this is from 2002, and it came in this little zipper thing. So even that would be cute for a project to take in the car. And then also this looks like a Hardanger pad project. Says Millennium, 1,000 Years of Stitch Design. It's called Indigo Rose. I really enjoy watching. I know it's still in the plastic, but it's really pretty. I don't have all of them to show you. I have bought 5. There's 4 in my Etsy shopping cart, but Stitch Rovia was doing her charity sale. There we go. Yeah, that's what it is. And so this is part 3, but I think a lot of you have heard of it by now. The different quotes and sayings by famous people. I love it. And I've been wanting to stitch some of these graphic lettering designs. They just look like a lot of fun, and I do like the colors in there. But that's just one of them. But I have bought 5, and the other 4 are in my shopping cart, ready to purchase. Okay. I'm not crazy, right? Am I? When Joann's had their sale, I think it was on 4th of July, and I went ahead and bought almost all the thread for the Moonlight Hair. That's the hay design out of the world of cross stitch that I've been showing. I think all but 7 colors they had. And yeah. And it's still only, I bought a couple other things and still spent less than $20 on the thread. So I was quite pleased. I think I had a coupon too to save some more. So, because I made a copy of the colors on some paper and took it with me, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors I still need. What else? I did make an order through 1-2-3 Stitch, like we all have to once in a while. After our taxes had came back, I took some time to make an order for things I've been wanting. They're in my wish list, just sitting there waiting and waiting for me to buy. Sorry. You can probably hear some of those goodies. I've showed it in a previous video, but those ornaments that I wanted to stitch that have the red, blue, gold, and green in it. I finally bought the beads. And even though I kind of knew the color, once they came, I was just even more excited. You can see. So bright. And I'll show you some else in a second. But I also took the opportunity to buy a couple little hook kits. I bought the football, because we love football in this house. Spring bouquet, that's autumn harvest, and this is spring bouquet popcorn. I used to work in a movie theater, so that seemed appropriate. And then I bought some threads for some charts that I really wanted to do. I have them all clipped together with a binder clip here. And no, I didn't buy the charts there. I just have my threads in there now. This is how I'm keeping them right at the moment, so I can, I know what I bought them for, so I don't confuse myself. I bought a few colors here. I know I needed paper for this. Stitch Rubia. I bought a couple colors for that. And Lizzie Kate's housework, I bought 4 of the colors. And I tried to buy the colors that were had more variation in them, or variegated. Because I want to do that one. Been waiting a while, but I want to use the colors. And then because Miss Joanne has already done this, I want to do it, of course. She enables me a lot. She did the Here Comes Santa Claus, and I have a couple of the colors purchased for that. I also purchased the Whisper, little fuzzy. Is it made from Angora? No, well, kid, it's from Goat. For his beard. And the 2 buttons for him. I had the larger ones, didn't realize there were 2 different sizes. But now I have threads to start that for those projects. So thank you, 1-2-3 Stitch. And then on eBay, because 1-2-3 Stitch now sells petite treasure braid, we're having trouble keeping them in stock. So I found an eBay seller that had these colors. And so now I can't wait to do those ornaments. Yay! Those I will be starting, like, I want to say ASAP, but very, very soon, because I think once I stitch one, they'll go very, very fast, because there's kind of like black work, I think. I bought some threads to do a patriotic pattern, which I can't show you because all I have is a pattern. But I've had this heroic for a long time. I don't know if you can see the pink and blue a little bit. but I bought these colors. Oh, they pop really nice on there. I bought those at my, yeah, Always in Stitches in Noblesville. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. And of course, I have to shop for Mo. And I'm not going to go through all the names because of time. So I have these on a binder clip too. All these different colors. And then she had a Facebook special for some new colors. And these were Harry Potter related. Some of them were. So I have Patronus. This is Queen Elizabeth II. Love the pink, purple, and blue. And this one's Harry. I have 4 of Harry. Oh, love it. Thank you, Mo. Oh, and please be safe, Mo. I know she's down in Florida. And she's talking about her, like she's going to stop shipping so she can potentially get to safety. And yes, please do. Oh, I also mailed to Hands On Design for one of their freebies that she put up. I'm trying to think. The love and the arrows. And got the free hand-dyed buttons to go with that. It was a first come, first serve, and I was really happy to have an opportunity to do that. I was getting rid of some of these stitchable stuff. These little ring-size boxes you can stitch on the lid. Yes, please. So cute. This like a leather, like a leather similar book. I think it says, yeah, vegan leather. You can stitch a couple different designs on it. And these gift tags, there are 10 gift tags in here. Well, this one was from Hobby Lobby. Red Ada for $1.25. I don't know what I can do. Maybe I can over dye that. Once we went to the Indiana State Museum, I did buy a button. I already took the stuff off the back. Lost it. And it's really tiny. That's celebrating Indiana. We're celebrating 200 years. And I'm going to put a magnet and make it another needle minder. But since it's got really a deep button thing, I'm going to have to maybe glue 2 magnets together. But love it. Also, when we went shopping down in Columbus, we found a tool store and a really nice thin retractable magnet like this. And it's like a pen, so you can put it in your pocket. I see. I showed you that stuff. Let me get that out of the way. Because now I've just acquired a mess, which always happens. Hobby Lobby has been selling some new notions, and I found some stuff in purple. A seam ripper with a rubber tip and a magnetic needle holder, which also has a little magnifying area inside the lid. Yeah, you can see that a little bit there. So I think that'd be good to carry in my car projects. Talked about 1, 2, 3 stitch already. Also, when we went to Fort Wayne and went shopping, I had to stop by the Stitch and Frame, which is the store that does all the framing for the just Cross Stitch magazine. I bought a couple patterns there. I was having a tough time finding stuff that I really wanted and knew I would stitch. There's a difference. I wanted it, but then wasn't sure if I was ever going to stitch it. So I knew these were small and cute. This, which is hands and heart, or excuse me, heart and hand, a nativity. I thought it was really cute, and it comes with a button. And then a Lizzie Kate. Is it Lizzie Kate? I'm sure it is. Yes, it just doesn't say it on the front. Lizzie Kate Flip It for September, and I figure I can take out the September and put in a teacher's name for an easy gift for them. After a couple trips to my LNS throughout the summer, I picked up an 8x8 Q-snap. More John's Jam needles. Those are my favorite right now. I think they're just easy. I get the 26 because they're a little thicker and easier to hold for me, but still glide through. And these little snips that have a little silicone cap. They were only $3, so thought I'd give them a try. Good for car projects. Mess. Another time I didn't find much, but my kids helped me pick out just any color of overdyed, and they picked out confetti from Weeks, and of course some more needles. And then another time I found this from Tiny Modernist. Just liked how that's done. And more needles, of course. And then there was an end. The last time I went, in the month of August, they had a huge anniversary sale where you could buy 10 fat quarters of quilting fabric and get 10 free, buy 10 skeins of yarn and get 3 free, or 10 skeins of floss and get 3 free. And there was a couple other things, but of course I was interested in buying 10 and getting 3. So again, I didn't buy these patterns. These are patterns I've had, and I wanted some colors to go along with it. So let me show you. Bought a couple of these colors that are asked for. This one, which is So My Valentine. This is one I won in a little Instagram giveaway. And then this one, which is a Trail Creek Farm. So tiny on there, but these are the colors I have for that. The red and the blue are not the charted colors. I am thinking about finding them on 1-2-3 Stitch and ordering those and seeing how different they are. But I do like those colors together. And then I think I have everything for Life's a Stitch by Lizzie Kate. Those colors. So I was really happy to save a little because I was doing the math and found out that I would save some money by going ahead and buying 10 skeins of floss for projects. Whew, guys, it's been over an hour, and I know I've also will be adding photos into this. But I appreciate if you have made it through all of this with me. I have missed you guys terribly. I am glad to be back. Again, now that we're back into a school routine, hopefully I can make videos a little bit more on a regular basis between our crazy schedules now. Because like I said, Elizabeth has cheer. We've been going to some travel softball games, which I think will be this weekend, which since I drive, I don't get to stitch in the car. I wish I could. And I think I've already searched for a local needlework store in Columbus and didn't see one. But if there was one, I would love to know about it so I could stop by. But yeah, guys, I'm back. Sorry, it's been so long. I miss you all. And I know a lot has happened on Flosstube while I was gone, but somebody who has been on my mind lately, and even more so since we heard about Mackenzie's father passing, just know that we are all here for you. And when you're ready, hopefully, maybe you can share some more of your Flosstube with us, because I miss it when I'm not done Flosstube. I have missed it. So you're definitely on my thoughts, Mackenzie, and especially everybody who's gone through Houston. And I know Irma is knocking on the door in Florida. So everybody, please be safe, and I will see you guys next month, which is also my Flosstube anniversary, going on 3 years. Hopefully it will be very good, and maybe you won't want to miss that. So everybody have a good day and happy stitching. I'll see you guys next time.